This is one of the most slept on Vietnamese street foods. These golden and crispy shrimp and sweet potato fritters, or Banh Tôm, is one of the most addictive snacks you'll ever have. And I'll let you in on a little secret. Personally, I don't like sweet potatoes. Like, I'll go out of my way to avoid it. But the one exception to that rule is this dish. There's just something about the crunch, and when it's wrapped up in some fresh veggies and paired with a tangy Nuoc Cham, it just makes these sweet potato fritters so magical. And the best part is that they're actually pretty easy to recreate at home. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands. Now the first thing we'll do is get all of our prep work done, starting with our sweet potatoes. And today I have two different ones, and one is orange while the other one is white, but honestly, whatever you find at your local grocery store is fine. We'll just peel the sweet potatoes, cut them into slices, and then into matchstick pieces. And I like cutting mine pretty thin, as this will help them fry up quicker later. Now when your sweet potatoes are all cut, give them a rinse and then soak them in some water while we finish the rest of our prep to draw away any excess starch. And before we use them later, just make sure you throw them in a salad spinner or pat them dry with a towel to remove any remaining moisture. Next up, I have a pound of shrimp, and I like using some medium-sized ones that aren't too big and aren't too small. And to process these, we'll just give them a really good rinse, and then we're gonna de-poop them. And the easiest way to do that is by using a toothpick or skewer and stabbing it between the 4th and 5th abdominal segment and lifting that doo-doo straight out of there. Now, traditionally, these fritters are eaten with the shrimp shell on, but if you aren't about that life, feel free to peel them and just make them however you'd like. But today, we'll keep up with the tradition. And to make them a little bit easier to eat, I'm gonna cut off the rostrum and telson, which are the sharp bits on the head and tail of the shrimp. Make sure you also trim away any of the long antennas too. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Vietnamese and Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. When that's all done, we'll get our shrimp into a bowl, and then we're going to marinate that with a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, half a tablespoon of garlic powder, a pinch of salt and white pepper, and a splash of oil to loosen it up. Give that a good mix, and we'll let this vibe out in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes. Moving on, let's make our batter that holds the sweet potato and shrimp together. Now to a big mixing bowl, we'll add in a cup of all-purpose flour and half a cup of rice flour. To that, we'll add in a teaspoon of baking powder. Then we'll season with 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder for the color, half a tablespoon of chicken bouillon, half a teaspoon of sugar, salt, and black pepper. Give that a good mix. And then we're gonna crack in a whole egg. From here, I'm gonna pour in a little bit of water and start to mix that up. And depending on a few variables, including the weather, temperature, humidity, as well as how old the flour itself is, you may end up using more or less water. For my recipe, I use about 12 ounces, but you'll wanna just slowly add the water to the batter and mix that until you have a batter that looks like this. We're looking for the consistency that's just a bit looser than pancake batter, but not too loose where it doesn't 100% stick together. And to level this up even further, instead of water, you can replace that with coconut water or your favorite ice cold lager. When you're done with the batter, set that aside for now and allow the flour to rehydrate as we make our sauce. Now Banh Tôm is paired with Nuoc Cham as the standard dipping sauce. So today, we're gonna make my traditional recipe. And if you've been following me for a while, you should already know how this goes. So to a small bowl, I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then we'll add in an equal amount of my Dear Mom fish sauce, which is now available nationwide on Amazon. To that, I'm gonna add in 5 times the amount of water, and for this recipe, all you really have to remember is my golden ratio of 1 to 1 to 5. And from here, you can add in as much lime juice, minced garlic, and Thai chilies as you want. Give that a good mix, making sure that the sugar is fully dissolved, and that's pretty much it. With that done, it's finally time to put it all together. Now to a wok or frying pan, we're gonna pour in just enough oil to shallow fry the fritters. We're gonna heat up the oil on medium-high heat and heat that up to about 350 degrees. Now we'll do all of these fritters in batches, and what you'll wanna do is add a handful of the sweet potato into the batter. And then we're gonna add some of the sweet potatoes onto a big spoon. Then take one of the shrimp, quickly dip that into the batter, and then place that right on top of the sweet potato. And from here, we'll gently slide the fritter off the spoon, making sure to keep the shrimp on top of the sweet potato. Now this recipe should make about 12 fritters total, so we'll just continue to rinse and repeat until we use up all the sweet potatoes and shrimp. Now you'll notice that there's just enough oil where it reaches up to the shrimp. And this is really important because the sweet potatoes take much longer to fry, whereas the shrimp cooks up super quick. So we don't want to overcook it. We're gonna cook the sweet potato side for about 5 to 6 minutes or until it's golden and crispy. Then we'll flip it over and cook the shrimp side for just about a minute. And when your Banh Tôm is all done cooking, remove it and let the excess oil drain on a wire rack. And then it's time to plate. We're serving this up family style today, so we'll get some lettuce onto a plate. We'll add our crispy Banh Tôm right on top. Serve this up with the Nuoc Cham we made earlier, and to eat the Banh Tôm, you can enjoy it just by itself, but I like wrapping it up in a piece of lettuce and dipping it right into the sauce. And just like that, you've made an incredible Banh Tôm at home. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comment section, what's your favorite street food item? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy.